Them booze. He finally did it. He got the Dubinsky. He got the UCL freaking dub. Does this now automatically make him the Ballon d'Or winner, completing one of the great redemption arcs? Or is a certain Spaniard who's a teen going to say no? Your boy did it. Your boy did it, man. The UCL, man. This is what every top player wants. This is the biggest club prize. It ain't the EPL. It ain't the FA Cup. It ain't the Copa del Rey. It ain't the La Liga. It ain't the Day People. It ain't any of that stuff. The Champions League is why we get into this business called football. And it's all about winning that big-time trophy. And it's what every player dreams of. You see, when you're a football player, you dream of two trophies. There are two trophies three trophies. Let's be fair, there's three trophies. It's the World Cup, it's your Confederations Trophy, AFCON, Euros, Copa America, Asia Cup, and it's the Champions League. But when you're in the club game, there's only one trophy that matters. It is the Champions League. Shout out to Copa Libertadores. Shout out to that. But the Champions League, that is where all the best players play. Call it colonization tax, whatever tax, because Europe pretty much gets the pick of the very, very best players in the world. So the Champions League is what proves to you that you're the very best and you're very the elite. And Dembele, he's been a main character in this amazing journey that PSG have been through. He's been a huge character, and he's been a huge reason why they've been able to say what's up. So you can't deny him that. So you would say to yourselves that it's done. Given the Ballon d'Or, because look, see, what is Dembele's Ballon d'Or argument? I'll talk about what is his Ballon d'Or argument? You see, his Ballon d'Or argument is he's been one of PSG's best players. He's been one of the best players in a team that just won a treble. And he's been critical. See, that's the main thing here that we talk about is that, did you win? Yes. How important were you to the win? What were your contributions to those W's? Who scored the equalizer against Liverpool in the second leg? Who scored the go-ahead goal against Arsenal away from home? And you look at what he did against Villa, and also especially what he did in the final, being involved in 2 of those goals. He has been a very critical member of this team. And not only the Champions League, the League as well, the French Cup final as well, the French Cup. He has been, this is what we always wanted from the Oos. See, what I call him the Oos? I call him the Oos because of right foot, left foot, ambidextrous, is just as good as his right and left. We've never seen a two-footed player quite like this ever before, where he literally does not have a strong foot. His right foot and left foot are exactly the same. And we said, bro, if this guy can reach the peak of his footballing potential and just get his football IQ up, this could be one of the most dangerous football players that we've seen in a long time. And what we're seeing now in his late 20s, which is where your peak is, he's finally realized his dream, because now Dembele is now living in his peak of his powers. But when you just take everything into account, the guy who has been named Champions League Player of the season, Champions League Team of the season, French Player of the season, bro, it should be pretty simple for him to to get that Ballon d'Or. And you got to shout out to Enrique, bro. Do you know why I like this image? Because this image, it runs parallel to another video that many people know about. So it's a video where Enrique is showing Mbappe film. And what Enrique wanted is that kind of close relationship with Mbappe. Mbappe, you have to be the leader of this team. And that didn't happen. And now Enrique now turned his eyes to Dembele and said, okay, Ryan, Dembele, can you lead this team? Not only in performance, but in hard work, in really putting in effort off the ball, and just doing everything that I instruct of you. And Dembele said, bet, don't worry, papi, I did it. So this is as much a victory for Dembele as it is for Enrique. And I think for Enrique, he would actually feel almost as happy as Dembele if he was to get the Ballon d'Or, because Enrique would be like, bro, this really goes to the amount of work that I put in to ensure that Dembele reached his full potential. And a big reason why the US was able to have his easily this best performance he's ever had across a football season is down to Enrique, his instructions, his guidance, his man-to-man motivation, and just how he's been able to manage and coach Dembele to reach his full potential. So it is as much a victory for Dembele as it is for Enrique. So the thing though is, half up. Okay. Treble, French Player of the Season, Champions League Player of the Season, critical in UCL non-knockouts games, gate, clutch, performance, importance, Ballon d'Or. It's a done deal. It should be a done deal. And I think it's really has to be a done deal, but there are a few complications here. There's a few complications here. So let's just first look at the other potentials here. Where are we at? Sorry, bro. You see, Salah was a front runner. It's Salah, you were on the same pitch Dembele was on. And on that same pitch, you allowed Dembele to equalize and you didn't answer. All Salah has is his truly amazing Premier League season. And let's be real, that is a Premier League season for the ages. It was truly outstanding. Just balling out in the Premier League is not enough to win a Ballon d'Or. You need to ball out on all fronts. And for Liverpool to go out in the knockout stage, the first part of the knockout stage, not only in the first part of the knockout stage, you did nothing. You see, we're going to get to your boy Yamal. If he played well and balled out and they lost, okay, something. You didn't play well, you didn't show up. And on that same pitch, on your home ground, you allowed Usman, first of his name, Olusegun Dembele, to score, and you did not answer. When he scored, it doesn't look good. So for Salah, he might get on the podium, but when I'm looking at what Vitinha has done, and bro, do you know what Hakimi has done? Do you know how many times Hakimi has scored? Do you know how well Hakimi has played? So and also, let's be real, if we're talking African Player of the Year, that is now a very interesting discussion because, bro, Hakimi has to be African Player of the Year. Because of how well he's played as a right back, but where are the stats? Oh, I think he scored in a UCL semi. I think he scored in a UCL final. And he's been an ever-present important piece for a treble-winning season for PSG. That's Trump Salah, who just went crazy in one competition of the Premier League. So, if we're being real and we're being honest, Achraf Hakimi should win that African Player of the Year and bring that trophy back to Morocco, 100%. Salah's argument is not strong enough. I mean, for Salah to win it over Hakimi, that would be preposterous. That would be ridiculous because Hakimi has done far more in more competitions than Salah, and in the most important competition, in the most elite competition, and in the toughest competition, he was quality. He was money and made the UCL team of the season. So 100%, it's a done deal. Hakimi is Africa's Player of the Year. You know, so while to what Salah did, he'll come second for sure, but Hakimi 100% is number one. The African Player of the Year trophy is going from Nigeria to Morocco, and that's that. So for Salah, yeah, look, I just don't think his argument is strong enough for him to say what's up. Again, an amazing EPL season. He was truly amazing, and I feel he's an EPL great. He's one of the greatest players in Premier League history. But for this Ballon d'Or, nah. Gotta shout out Raphinha, bro. You see, if we're talking pure numbers, Raphinha has a great argument to win this. Because Raphinha's numbers both in La Liga, Copa del Rey, and in the Champions League have been amazing. If not for Acerbi going crazy for Inter and then Inter going to freaking embarrass themselves in the final, if not for that, Raphinha would have scored the goal to send Barca to that UCL final. Yet another key goal. So it's like, boom. But the problem with Raphinha is performance. If you ask most Barca players, who has been Barca's best player this season? they'll say Pedri before Raphinha. They'll say Yamal before Raphinha. Very few Barca fans will say Raphinha has been their best player. So if Barca fans themselves won't put Raphinha as their best player, does that give a compelling argument for him to win the Ballon d'Or? Liverpool, oh, Salah's been a best player. PSG, oh, Dembele's been a best player. For Barca, has Raphinha been Barcelona's best player? Has he truly been better than Pedri? Has he truly been better than Yamal? This is where we have to look beyond the numbers. Numbers are great, but do the numbers marry with the performance? Which is what made Messi so amazing, because Messi's amazing numbers married with his amazing performance, which is what made him so unique. For Raphinha, I don't think the performance and the numbers are pretty much identical. So, which brings us to, this is Dembele's stumbling block. And this is the one guy who could bring Dembele down. The mean. Here's the thing. And I keep saying this and people keep attacking me. If aliens came down to the earth and said, Hafub, who is the best football player right now? Lamine Yamal. Hafub, who has been the best football player in the past 10 months? Lamine Yamal. So if this is about who is the best football player right now, or who has been the best football player in this past football season, for me, it's been Lamine Yamal. Because you have to look beyond the numbers. You have to look at his amazing creativity, his iconic goals, his goals in big games against Inter Milan and against Real Madrid, and just what he's done on the pitch. And the joy he's brought back to football, and how he's literally just lit up football. Like, he has been the true successor to Messi, to Neymar. And because of that, because there's been no player playing quite like him, producing the magic that he's done, is made him special. Do you know what it means where Barca lost to Inter? They lost. But everybody was in agreement that Yamal was the best player in both legs. So when you can still be the best player on a losing team, and even that team, I'm like, bro, that dude there, yeah. Where Bastoni even said, no, Yamal, best player I've ever faced. That's when you're truly special. Here's the thing. If we want to be fair, hold on. If we want to be fair here, if you want to take everything into account, I'm giving the Ballon d'Or to Dembele still. Even though I feel that Yamal is the best representation of football and he's been the most outstanding football player, you have to take everything into account, which is trophies and what you did to contribute to those trophies. It doesn't make sense for the Ballon d'Or not to go to a PSG player. Now you might say, okay, well, what if it was just a full team effort? And it has been a team effort. But we can't deny what Dembele has done. And we can't deny Dembele's importance to this team. And for Dembele to lift up that trophy, knowing what he's done on all three fronts, in the French Cup, in Ligue 1, and in the Champions League, even if I still feel Yamal is the better player, and I still feel Yamal is a superior football player, the Ballon d'Or is about performance and achievement, and what you've done to contribute to that achievement. Hence why I still believe that, bro, Ribery deserved that award in 2013. What's it called? In 2010, I felt Sneijder deserved that award in 2010. Those are the guys that I felt deserved the award. So my thing here is, I believe that for everything that Dembele has done and for everything that this guy has achieved, especially this season, because, bro, guys, they won a treble. Like, we kind of they won a treble. That's happened. Very few teams win a treble. And I just feel like if for Yamal, he's going to have many far more years. It would be criminal to give it to Yamal over Dembele. But guys, this is the real truth here. This is just me talking and us talking. When those journalists start to pick guys, I don't know what's going to be through their mind. Because I feel it's between two players. It's between Dembele and Yamal right now. Because I think many journalists will be like, trophies, treble, he's the face of the treble. Easy, Dembele. And I assume that most guys would think that way in terms of a team won a treble. This is the face of that treble. This is about achievements and trophies and winning. And this guy has been key to this team winning. Oh, he has to have it. But then some other guys would be like, that was a team effort. Some people will say that, was Dembele truly better than Vitinha? Was Dembele truly better than Kirkivica? How much better was Dembele than Kirkivica? How much better was Dembele than Vitinha? And they may view PSG's things as this was a team effort. And Dembele did not really separate himself from what was truly an outstanding team. And the true MVP is Luis Enrique. And guys will say that as good as Barca have been, the true superstar, the true outstanding player was Yamal. And the guy that Barca truly relied upon and that they looked for inspiration was Yamal. So whereas PSG, it was much more of a team, Barca was much more of like, team, but there's a superstar. And Yamal was much more of an outlying superstar for Barca than Dembele was for PSG. That may be their thinking. But there's one thing here, though, and I think this is the key thing. Now, I thought that the season is over. That everything else is just afterwards. So the season is over, UCL, boom. The streets are telling me some stuff. The streets are telling me that the Club World Cup counts. But more pertinent to this discussion is the Nations League. France face Spain. And I'm assuming both Yamal and Dembele will be on the pitch. Based on just how, because it's almost poetic that it's happened this way, that it really is between these two guys, both Yamal and Dembele. And it is just so crazy that they will now be both facing each other in a Nations League semi-final on Thursday. I truly believe, based on just how narratives are so important, that's what happens in that semi-final might actually contribute to the voting in September for the Ballon d'Or. Because if France beats Spain, it's done. It's done. Unless Mbappe goes crazy in the Club World Cup, which, right? I think it's done. But if Spain were to beat France and Yamal goes crazy and Spain go ahead and win the Nations League against either a Germany or Portugal, then I think it gets very complicated. Now, I still feel it has to go to Ousmane Dembele. But let's be honest, if Spain win the Nations League and Yamal is voted the MVP and the best player, I cannot say for sure that journalists will not be like, let's give it to this kid, bro. For the PR, the story, the hype, and all that. So, but whatever the case may be, from my view, Dembele deserves it. Give it. If it's me, whatever happens in the Nations League, if it's me, give it to Dembele. Because this is a great redemption arc. From where he was, from insulting him, abusing him, thinking that he was finished, to what he did this season and encapsulating it with this UCL trophy and a treble, just for that storyline, and specifically him being at the peak of his powers, 100% I'll give it to the Oos. Because finally, we've been waiting. This was finally what we've been waiting for. The Oos. This final hour. And I was always said, Mbappe is good. He's Messi's daddy. He's a World Cup GOAT. I always said, and look by the tape, Dembele was always more talented. I always felt that Dembele had more raw talent than Mbappe. And now, if he goes ahead and wins, he's won a UCL before Mbappe. And now to win the Ballon d'Or before Mbappe? Think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.